Welcome to another episode of the Shed Interviews. This week in studio we have Pastor Oral Patrick. Pastor, I want to thank you for coming in today and sharing your story with us. Tell us a little bit about your early beginnings, Pastor.
Yeah, thanks for having me
Mm-hmm.
on the shed. Um, I started life in Jamaica in Old Harbour, St. Catherine, and I grew up with my family there, parents, and then I went to the University of the West Indies where I studied science. I was very fascinated with the sciences, and um, I also was with my parents, and my father was a pastor, and I assisted him at different points in the ministry while I was down there before I came to America when I was in my early 20s.
Okay. Did you go to school here?
Yes, after I came to the USA, I went to school and I studied some more engineering stuff.
Okay.
And I also studied some theological stuff, which deals with a lot of things like psychology and anthropology. Just stuff that I was fascinated with. And because I was kind of from the religious background, I studied some of the more theological stuff also,
Okay.
wanting to become more useful in the church. Because when I studied those things, I think I would be more effective as a teacher and as a trainer within the church that I was attending.
Oh, very good.
So yeah, my dad was a pastor, and when he left to come to America while I was in college, I picked up the work from him, and I assisted for a few years until I myself migrated to the United States. So when once I migrated, I said, I don't know if I want to become a pastor again. I just want to assist and serve God and help people my own way
Okay.
until the Lord eventually called me to the ministry many years after that.
Great. When you first came to America, you said you studied science, engineer science. I'm correct?
I studied computer engineering, and I work with several engineering companies in
You
the
you
US.
obtained you obtained a degree in engineering science.
Yes,
Where did that lead you?
that degree in engineering lead me to many engineering jobs, and eventually I start working at the World Trade Center.
Okay.
And after working at the World Trade Center for about 3 months, I I got fired.
You got fired from the World Trade
Yeah,
Center.
I got fired.
Which year was this?
This was in 2001.
2001.
I remember coming in the morning,
Uh-huh.
and my boss called me to the conference room and tell me that, listen, I'm terminating you from the job. And I was a little bit puzzled, but I accepted it because I know sometimes God is doing something special.
Yeah.
And um, after I signed my resignation letter, he get one of the security guards to escort me to my desk to pick up my belongings, and he took me and then he led me outside. So because I was fired, I, you know, no job now, so I decided that I would come back to the city and network on the resume and try to look a job again.
This
But
this
yeah,
was during the
this
trade
was
center.
this was the following morning, which was 9/11. So
Uh-huh.
I was fired the day before, and on 9/11 now I was coming in back in the morning and driving up on the turnpike. I looked across,
Coming from Jersey.
coming from New Jersey. I looked across and I saw the tower, and smoke coming from the tower, and I said, "It's rather strange." I just left there, a few hours ago, in fact.
Right.
Anyway, I turned to the station, and it seemed as if there was some small plane that had hit the building. So I continued to go, heading towards the downtown area where I could hand out a resume.
Okay.
And as I go closer, I start to hear the news that something more sinister was at work. So at that point, I kind of stopped the car and decided to get out close to the close to the tower, just to see what was going on. People were coming in, and at that point, I would find out that, there was a second plane that was involved, and it, so
The building that you was in got
hit.
hit.
Yeah, the building, literally, the building that I was in got hit first, and I was saying, oh my God, God work all things for His purpose.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So so I got into the car, and then I was just there watching and trying to. Then I went a little further, trying to help and assist with, and find out what was going on, and just to in short, basically in the following days and weeks, because this went on for several days and weeks, I tried going back to the area to help and to find out what's going on with my friends and other ex-co-worker by now. And just by going within the area, the smoke and the stench and all of that stuff that was blowing around, I inhaled it, and so I got sick.
You got sick.
I got sick as a result.
As a result of being on ground zero.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Looking back now, do you consider yourself lucky for getting fired the day before the World Trade Center got destroyed?
I consider myself blessed, and God knows what He's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I wasn't fired, I don't know what could happen to me today. I heard some of the story of some of the people that I work with that was on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I would be today.
Okay. So was it avoidable in terms of was something that you did, or was just God being on your side?
It was just God being on my side. I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I could explain it. And even though I got sick, and God got all worked out for good, because as a result of getting sick.
What can you take away from getting fired from?
Well, you know what? As people, we just have to learn to live our lives, and if you should get fired again, just embrace it, just accept it, because sometimes God has a bigger purpose at work in our lives.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So can you speak on the illnesses
Yeah, just by being in and around the area, the tower, as you know, so many people got sick, so many people died that day and continue to die, and I developed breathing problems from inhaling all of the stuff. And there was, I had severe skin rashes, and sometimes my eyes would be irritating and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had some pre-existing conditions too. So with all of these other things that came on, I had a very bad experience. In particular, after the 9/11 tragedy, I was fired. I was without a job. The repossessors were coming in to take away my car. They were coming in to take away my house, and I was sick in my body, and I laid in bed at one point because I just didn't know what to do. I've been to the doctor on several occasions, and they pretty much give me, antihistamine to control it, but they said that some things will never go away. At one point, I pretty much give up because I said, I've had a good life, I had a great career, and now, it's probably the end for me, and I didn't think I was going to go beyond a few more days.
Again, God had different plans for you.
God had a different plan for me.
Okay. Was this your first job in America?
No. I had several jobs before that, for several years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I lied in bed, and I was there for about 2 weeks very little to eat, very little I could do, and I just lay there still. And in those moments of stillness and rest, it seemed as if God started to work on me. Because you see, when we are still, when we are at rest, they are what's called, our body naturally has what's called life force. And this life force is responsible for our activities, for our digestion, for our recreation, for procreation. But whenever we are not engaged, the life force then goes about to heal the body. So I rest there and I meditated and I prayed and I communicated with the divine. And after I did that, I remember after about 2 weeks, with little or no food, with not doing much, I woke up one morning and the light came shining through the window. And when the light came shining through the sunlight came shining through the window, I opened my eyes and I realized that all the brain fog that I was experiencing, all the weakness that I was experiencing was going almost gone. I was so refreshed. My eyes were clearer. I felt lighter and I actually got up and I jumped because I felt so light. And when I looked outside, it was such a brilliant view. It was so clear. It seemed as if I was able to see colors and hues and shades that I've never seen before, colors that were out of this world. And when I look at the blue skies and the green grass and the golden sunshine, I realized that I received the healing and I was so glad and happy.
Oh, okay. That's very good. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
You said the blues were bluer,
Yeah.
the greens were green.
Yes.
That's great. God really did have a plan for you.
Yeah. So I was so happy with my healing that I decided, oh my God, I can't believe that this is happening. I thought I would die and now I'm alive and even better. I just wanted to keep it to myself. So I just started, going about my business again. And a friend saw me, and when he saw me, his mouth dropped. And he said, wow, you look so different. What did you do? And I tell him, I listen, I rested my body, mind, and spirit. And, and by resting my body, mind, and spirit, God healed me.
And isn't that what the book is about?
And this is what the book about.
Mm-hmm.
And in the book, I gave a lot of scientific techniques, well-documented techniques and secrets of healing. And in addition to that, there's some great stories of some of the people, because several people saw me and asked me, what did I do? And I tell them the story of my healing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell them the story of my healing, they tried it and they got good results. And eventually they start to say to me, hey, you should write a book about this, document it, so that we can share it with other people. So at that point, I decided to write the book.
Okay. So you being sick from ground zero, mentally, physically, that really gave you the drive to share your story with others, and that's in the form of the book.
Yes.
Okay. What was it? What was your contribution to the book? I understand it's written by your daughter, Deborah, right?
Yes.
It's a co-author.
Yeah, Deborah, my daughter, is the co-author of my book.
Okay.
And of our book. In the book has 3 sections.
It's divided by sections.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first section is about body, then section about mind, and then about spirit. And each section has 3 chapters. And the 3 chapters, basically, actually 6 chapters each. And each of the chapters basically deals with one of the scientific method of resting the body.
Okay. Where can we find the book?
The book.
I know there's a hard copy. I'm sorry, hard copy, and
Right. There's a hard copy of the book, and there's a soft copy, and there's an audible version. There's an electronic version, and all of these copies are available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and wherever books are sold. The book was published by Balboa Press, so the books are also available at Balboa Press.
Okay. What type of reviews have you gotten so far from the book?
I've gotten some very good reviews because the people who were telling me to write the book, they have read the book and they have learned additional information, and they like the in fact before the book was completed, I got feedback from them as to get their story, got feedback, and many of that is included in the book. So they are reviewing the book now and giving me some very good reviews. So far, I've gotten many and all 5-star reviews. So thank God for that.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I really put you to work. What was the process like writing the book? How long did it take to complete the entire book and doing research and so on?
Yeah. It's a kind of long process, because I was so glad when you almost die and you get back your life. I just said thank God, and I just wanted to stay in my corners and just enjoy my life that was given back to me. But my friends keep on insisting that I write, so I keep on writing different chapters, and over time, I put it down, and then they keep on saying, "Where's the book?" And they keep on, encourage me to write. So it took several years for me to fully put it together, edit it, and put the chapters together and proofread it and get the scientific input and the evidence, all the scientific evidence incorporated in the book.
Okay.
So it took me some time on that.
Okay. So will there be a follow-up book?
Yes, there'll be a follow-up book. There's going to be a part 2 to it, and many people are asking me for that again. And so there's going to be a part 2 of the book that's coming up. So, keep an eye out for part 2.
Okay. What type of promotion have you done so far in terms of getting the book out to the public?
Well, I've been advertising the book on, I have a website, I have a YouTube channel, and I'm giving out flyers. In fact, coming up in June 3rd, next month, June 3rd, 2023, we're going to be having a restorative healing conference, because the information is in the book, and people are asking me, say, there's some stuff in it that we don't understand. There's stuff in this that we want to talk about more in detail. So, they're asking me to put on a conference where we can speak more in depth about these things. So I have a conference coming up, in the morning of June 3rd. And I'm going to have several subject matter experts. I have doctors from Ivy League colleges coming in to, explain some of the techniques. I have people from the mental institutions that are coming in, and spiritual leaders to come in to talk about all aspects of resting the body, the mind, and the spirit, such that we can get rest. So please feel free to check out my website on that.
Where can people find information towards attending the conference on June 3rd?
The conference is available on Eventbrite. You could just search for Restorative Healing on Eventbrite, and you could go to my website, oralpatrick.com, ORALPATRICK.com, and you could get information on the book and on the conference that's coming up.
We're continuing with Deborah Patrick,
Yeah.
author of
Restorative Healing Begins with Rest.
Deborah, thank you for coming on. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so as you know, my name is Deborah Patrick. I'm a senior at Applied Technology High School, which is a part of the Bergen County Technical Schools District in New Jersey. I am actually dual enrolled in that school with Bergen Community College, and actually on Tuesday, this other day, I graduated with my associate's degree, and through this dual enrollment program and at my high school, I major in health professions. It's a magnet high school, so throughout my 4 years, I've been taking medical-based classes and I've learned a lot about the human body, which has really grown my interest in the health field even more. And I will actually be attending Howard in the fall, and I'll be majoring in biology on the pre-med track, and I hope to one day, well, I will become a doctor one day. And yeah, so after I graduate from Howard University, I will be attending medical school, and I want to be a pediatrician to continue to help others, heal others, and just spread the word about healing and make an impact in the world.
That's a lot. I want to go back. You mentioned you graduated from a community college.
Yes.
You mentioned before high school.
Before high school.
Wow.
Yes. And I'm not even an adult yet. I'm still 17 years old.
Wow.
Yes.
I definitely see doctor in your future.
Thank you.
What were you planning on working for a major hospital, or what were you trying to do?
I actually was thinking about doing my own private practice, but like, who knows, maybe that'll change in the future. Okay. And I didn't mention, but my initials are actually DRP, Dr. Patrick. So yeah, it's kind of funny.
Preordained, is it?
Yeah.
Speaking it into being, basically.
Yeah.
That's great. Biology and science. What was your contribution towards this book? Because this is what we're here to talk about. What was your contribution to this book?
Yeah, so through this book, I actually did a TEDx talk last year in March, and of course I had to do a lot of research towards that to make sure what I was saying was factual, because I want to make sure I am helping people in the right way and spreading the word about healing. So I went through a lot of like articles and research papers and websites that are of course like reliable, and I gathered that information and used it towards my TED Talk, and then also towards the book. And with this book, we used a lot of information in the chapters, and I did a lot of the research towards it.
Okay, that's very good. Where was the TED Talk? Where was the function?
So the TED Talk was held at my school, actually, Applied Technology High School, and I applied to actually give a talk, and I was chosen out of a lot of like applicants, and I was like so blessed and grateful to have been one of the speakers, because it was an amazing opportunity working with mentors, students, and really getting to like develop my own public speaking skills, which is really great. It was a really great opportunity to be able to spread the word to others and really share my knowledge with others, because that's what this world really needs, a healing, and I was able to do that.
Okay. You mentioned public speaking. You're doing very well so far. How many people was in the audience at the TED Talk?
I believe it was about 100 people there.
Okay.
About 100.
Okay, and everyone was in the same field as you in terms of science and bio?
Actually, the audience was like a wide group of people, but there were about, I don't remember exactly, but I want to say about like 10 about. And everyone talked about different topics. Some were science-based, some were more personal-based, social-based, but like I was one of the science people there.
Okay, great. Word of wisdom. This is a quote that I'm drawing from the book. What does that mean to you? Word of wisdom.
So Word of Wisdom is actually the name of our church. My dad's, our family's church. My dad is the pastor. And Word of Wisdom, it's what it really means to me is like words that are of knowledge, words that are good, words that help people. And that's what our church is really all about. And as well as the book, because this book is filled with knowledge that really inspire and help people, which is really my family's goal in life, to continue to help others and spread the word about impactful words that help them in their everyday life.
Very good. Are you going to be a speaker at your dad's function on June 3rd? Or?
Yes, I plan to be one of the speakers there to share who I am, my knowledge, my how I contributed to the book, and even like discuss some of the chapters. So yes, I do plan to be one of the speakers.
What advice do you have for kids your age looking to achieve as much as you have achieved so far. I mean, obviously you're the author of a book. You're an aspiring doctor. What advice do you have for the younger generation?
Yeah, so my first advice would be to know what you want to do and believe that you could do it. If you can't even do that, then it's going to be hard to move forward. So I would really recommend, which is actually in the book, to write down your vision. So in one of these chapters, actually talks about like writing down what you want to do with your life, because just thinking it in your head is not enough. So I want you to like write down on a paper, know what you want to do, see it through, and then work towards your goals. So I would say really start small, because it's really hard to just jump forward without really knowing what you're doing. So do your research, see what you could do, how you can get involved, grow your knowledge, which is very important, and then just start working towards what you want to do. Have a support system who will guide you through, have a great mindset, which is very important, and yeah.
Okay, good. How many siblings do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
I have 3 siblings. I'm actually the youngest. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
Okay, are they all as smart as you are, or
yes.
are you so you?
Yes, they are. They all went to college. They all got their bachelors. I'm actually the only child who's like interested in the sciences. I followed more in my mom's footsteps, who's a nurse, and my siblings are more into business. They all have their own businesses. They're all making their own money, and they're doing great. And yeah, I followed in the science path, because ever since a young age, I've been really interested in the sciences, and it just really spoke to me, and I just felt God like calling my life to become a doctor and be in the science field.
Okay, you pretty much covered what my next question, which was what feed your sisters and so on.
Yeah.
And so thank you for that. You mentioned you're a Christian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long have you been following the faith?
I was born into it, and I'm actually very grateful for that, because I have no idea where I would be if I wasn't born into it, and I'm very grateful to have known God and have the influence from my parents to continue to grow my relationship with God and really get close to Him. And I go to our church every Sunday, which really helps strengthen my relationship with God more and more. And I see how He works in my life every single day. So yes, I've been a Christian all my life, and I'm very grateful for that.
That's great. Knowing that your dad was in 9/11, how does that make you feel? Knowing that things may have been a little bit different. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very blessed and happy that I am here today, because God forbid something would have happened, I would not be sitting on this couch right now. So it makes me feel like, not necessarily like sad that he had to go through that, but just very happy for my dad, and very happy and thankful to God for letting us be in this position that we are now, because my dad has come a long way, and we are doing great things, and he's giving back to others by explaining what he went through and sharing his knowledge through this book about how he overcame illnesses and PTSD, breathing difficulties. And what we really want to do is just give back and help others, which is what we're doing. So more happy than anything else.
That's very good. That's very good. What was the next question?
The Harvard thing. Yeah, you mentioned Harvard.
Oh yes. I attended the Harvard Vision Global Health Conferences in 2001 and 2022. In 2001, it was actually virtual due to the COVID pandemic. But the year after, I was very grateful to be able to go in person to the Harvard University campus and actually attend the conference. It was 2 days. And what this conference is, I believe they started off like working with getting glasses to people all over the world, hence the name Vision. It came from like glasses, and then they expanded to more global issues, and that's why they do the conference every year. So, and aspiring high school students like me were able to attend this conference and learn more about global health issues and hear from a whole bunch of speakers and learn so much, and even be able to interact with Harvard University students, which was a really amazing opportunity because I get to see what they're learning, how they got into this organization and club at their college. And when I attend this event, I've learned so much about what goes on in the world, what issues people deal with, and how we as people can help towards this cause in big or small